Ricken Financial presents Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement. Gerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken-Provost want to help you reach the retirement you deserve. Let's build a strategy that gives you the confidence while meeting your financial wants and needs. Meet the team at Ricken-Financial.com. Now, Kickin' with the Rickens.
Look, y'all, it's episode 50, by our count anyway, of Kickin' with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement. Gerry and Heidi, glad to have them on. I'm your co-host, Doug Turnbull, and you can find Gerry, Heidi, and the team at Ricken-Financial.com or dial them up, 314-442-6476. And although 50 is a big milestone for the show, we talked about a big milestone with Papa Joe, right, who turned 100 back on Halloween, the oldest of the Ricken family, one of your cousins there, and just passed away right before Thanksgiving. But you also celebrate something every year, and Heidi, I'll come to you first because you got to make the big speech, something that's very close to the heart that we talk about quite a bit on the show too.
Absolutely. So, it was kind of amazing this year that we got to do this. It was our 24th annual presentation of the Mary Beth Ricken Sportsmanship Awards. And we got to hand these awards out on my sister's birthday this year on December 7th. So it was kind of awesome. Our church family, Our Lady of the Pillar Parish, has kept my sister's memory alive for many, many years in handing out the Mary Beth Ricken Sportsmanship Award for the best players from each team that represents Our Lady of the Pillar on the field for soccer. So Mary Beth
best
was
players in sportsmanship.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Mary Beth was not a good soccer player, but she was a phenomenal sport, and she really taught us a lot about, how you meet each challenge in life, whether it was on or off the field. And, we're no stranger to talking about her off the field, because when she was met with the challenge of brain cancer, when, she was in 8th grade at Our Lady of the Pillar, she hit it head on, and she really accepted whatever her fate was going to be with such grace and faith. And it's something that we carry with ourselves every day. So it was kind of amazing. We got to give out these awards to the player from each team who got voted into this position for being the best sport on the team. So their plaque says, "This is for the player who best exemplifies on and off the field the qualities of sportsmanship, effort, perseverance, Christian unselfishness, and the principle that it's not whether you win or lose, but how you meet the challenge."
I love
and
that.
I just think that was so cool, especially during Advent, that we were able to provide those awards to these kiddos, because they're setting a great example for their peers for how to hold yourself. And in today's world, it's hard to have all those different principles behind you,
It really is. And one of the really, really special things that happened again this year, or happened for the first time this year when we were doing these presentations, was there was a child that received the award whose mother was on Mary Beth's teams, was one of her teammates. Yes.
Yeah.
I believe it's been that long, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Darby was one of Mary Beth's friends and a teammate of hers, and her son, boom.
And it's no shock to me that Darby's kids would win this award too, because we used to go head to head coaching lacrosse. Back in the day, she was also a lacrosse player and a coach. And I was always proud to play her team because she taught those kids really what it means to be a good sport on and off that field too. And, when you're coaching, it's not about winning the game. It's about so much more than that too. So it was really cool to see her kid win, and all of these kids get so excited to win this award, because
Yes.
I remember back in the day, I wanted to get like the MVP. I didn't want to get the,
And by the
I
way,
will
you did.
say,
So.
well, yeah, I will say that I do like to think I was a very good sport, but so many kids want to win the best player. They don't want to win the best person award. And
Right.
honestly, this was the best person award, because how you hold yourself is everything. And what a lesson to learn when you're in frickin' kindergarten, because here we are I'm in my mid 30s. Dad's a little bit older than me.
Slightly.
And what a great lesson to learn, because how you carry yourself through the future is everything.
Well, and that reminds me of a story you told 2 episodes ago on our no participation trophies episode, talking about no handout trophies in finances and planning, where you talked about how you ended up kind of by accident playing lacrosse and were not good at it. And through that perseverance, ended up becoming, not only have a good character, but also becoming one of the top goalies there in Missouri. And so y'all should check that out because, again, this is all about character. And that speaks very well into y'all, the subject today about in finances and, really taking a plan as opposed to just waking up and being able to save for retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we can learn a lot from the lessons that Mary Beth taught us, both on and off the field, but we're talking off the field today in the form of finances. And you might say, well, how on earth do those connect? But, one of the principles that these kids won the award for was their unselfishness. And if you're sitting here and you're in that accumulation phase for your financial future, you're accumulating as many assets as you possibly can to get ready someday down the line to retire. If you're thinking selfishly and trying to time the market or, do this, that, and the other selfishly to put money away for the future, you're going to lose every single time. If we're leading with emotion and selfishness, we're never going to be able to hit our financial goals in the future because you don't know how to time the market. If any of us knew how to time the market, we wouldn't be working. We'd be timing the market.
No, that's very true. And that's one of the things we truly do believe in is taking the emotion out of your entire plan. Because by leading with emotion and spending with emotion and doing all those things with emotion, it's going to cloud your judgment. It just does.
Yeah, absolutely. And, people will say when they come to us, well, how am I not supposed to make emotional financial decisions? Because, Heidi, every big financial decision I've made in my life, I use emotion. I fell in love with my house. You see something, it's bright and shiny, and it makes you feel good inside and you buy it. Well, we're not saying you can't have some of those feelings too, but if you don't have a logical, mathematical means of getting there and that plan put together, you're never going to be successful in the future. You need to have, the mathematics speak for yourself too and come up with a plan so that when you do want to emotionally buy something because it makes you feel good or it's going to help, make you feel better, emotionally celebrate handing that to someone else and seeing the joy on their face. If you have the plan behind it, you're welcome to do that at any point in time. We're not telling you can't spend your money.
But when you talk about spending money, I mean, this is the time of year during the holiday season, during, between Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, a lot of people give gifts. And they give gifts based on emotion because they look at something and say, oh my gosh, that is so cool. Or you're inundated daily, constantly, not just daily, but by the second about here's the greatest deal, here's the Black Friday deals, here's all these deals. So what we want you to do is just focus on what your budget is. And it's okay to spend money. It's okay to spend money as long as you have a plan to pay for that. So when we look at emotionally spending, this is the time of year when we typically do emotionally spend.
Oh, absolutely. And, we used to be guilty of that as well as a family, but for many years, we stopped giving gifts because, you give someone a sweater, they might wear it once or twice and it goes in the closet. They don't think of you again when they, you give a kid a Furby. Okay, well, they play with it until the parents are annoyed enough that they take the batteries out of it. There are so many things
that sounds testimonial. Heidi, I feel like you and I are young enough to actually have gotten Furbies as gifts almost. I feel
yeah.
And they're back.
Yeah, they are back, by the way.
Oh, no.
Furbies and Polly Pockets are something that kids love nowadays. And I'm like, oh my God, I had both of those back in the day. And I'm pretty sure you guys did take the batteries out of the Furby because in the middle of the night, it would do this noise. And it was
so annoying.
Too much. But, we think these are things that are going to be enjoyed because you see, that's going to bring joy to the kid for 5 minutes. Well, why not give an experience that brings joy for more than 5 minutes? And this is a lesson that my mom taught me years ago. Growing up, I spent a lot of time shopping with my mom. When she needed to go to Target or whatever, it was usually my sisters and we would go with her all over the place. And I had my babysitting money and my allowance and whatever. And, I would be 10 years old in a store, pick something up. Oh, Mom, I love this. And she would say, do you love this for right now? Or is this something you're going to use? Think about it for a couple minutes before you buy it, Heidi. Is this something that you're going to use a couple times, that you're really going to enjoy? Or are you buying it because it's for sale, or are you buying it because it's on sale? Because I used to be super guilty of that too. You would just buy stuff because it's on sale. And
Look, I'm saving 20%. Yeah, it's 80%
right?
more than you were spending before that. So whatever.
It brought awareness to my spending, which is what we're talking about today. You need to bring awareness to the spending. It's okay to spend money, but if you're just spending money for the sake of spending money, you're doing everyone a disservice. So why not bring awareness to this? Is it going to be when you're giving a gift to your grandchild for Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate this time of year? Is it going to bring you more joy to hand them a stuffed animal, or a membership to the zoo where you can go together continuously throughout the year and enjoy
build
the time
memories
together?
and build experiences? Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Or our landfills are full of stuff.
Yeah.
Because things get thrown away, but memories never get thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. Now, if somebody is hearing this right now, we're talking a lot about impulse buys and money that just kind of falls out of our pockets, so to speak. But where do you begin that conversation with somebody? Because you look at the whole budget and there's things you're paying every month, and maybe sometimes people are overpaying for those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, the first conversation is, do you have a budget? And I'm not saying that, okay, when people think budget, they're like, oh my God, she's going to make me sit down and write down every penny I spend and what bucket it's in. And all. No, forget that. Okay. Do you know how much you spend? Do you know how much you save? Do you know how much you make? If you can't answer those three to a T each month, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to just bring a little awareness into what's coming in and what's going out. And if you need some help, taking a look at that and saying what should be coming in. Do you need more income coming in to cover your expenses? Is the taxation taken into consideration? What's going out the door? What's being saved? There's a lot that can connect when it comes to your budget. That's where we can step in and help you out pretty easily. Just give us a call, 314-442-6476. We'll sit down with you and kind of dive in and show you how to simplify this, because when you sit down and you nickel and dime every single expense, it's a miserable process for every single person involved. We're not saying that's what you need to do. You just need to have awareness of what you do spend and make sure that you have a financial plan behind that spending to help your money last for the future.
And one of the tools that a lot of people use, most Americans use, are credit cards. Mm-hmm. So we want you to make sure that you are cognizant of what you're spending on credit cards and how you're paying those off. And if you're not paying those off, the people who are getting wealthy are not you and your family. It is the financial institution behind that is charging you over 20% interest. So we want you to just make sure that when you do spend or overspend, that you have a plan to pay that credit card off immediately and pay it off. We like to see credit cards being paid off monthly. Credit cards are a great tool to earn trips, to get money back, do all those kinds of things. But they're a very, very expensive tool if you let balances remain on those cards on a monthly basis.
Of course, because none of us were ever taught how to properly use a credit card. We were just handed them back in the day. Yeah. And so if you need some help figuring out how to utilize your credit, we would love to sit down and educate you on how these can work for you instead of against you. But we'd also love to teach you how to pay off those credit cards when you find yourself in a hole, because we're not here to judge you. If we're judging, then we have to judge ourselves too. And the only constant is change, and we're human beings. We're going to make mistakes along the way. If you don't have the database of knowledge for how to use these tools, how are you supposed to know how to utilize your credit for the future? So if you find yourself in a little bit of a hole right now, this is the time of year that usually people find themselves in a bigger hole if they're in one. let's have a chat. Let's see if we can help you pay off that debt and accumulate an asset at the same point in time. But, help put together a plan for how you're going to utilize that credit for the future.
And that's all. It gets back to that word that you just mentioned, Heidi, is plan. It's all about planning, Doug, and it's all about planning. What
Yes.
do you want to happen? And if you want something to happen, you can't wish for it. You have to plan for it.
Well, for sure.
We all know what happens when you wish.
Because if you wish, my dad always said, hey, I would say, hey, Dad, I wish I had that. He'd say, okay, Gerry, you can wish for that or you can work for that. Because if you wish for something, you might as well wish in one hand and shit in the other because you'll have something in the other hand.
Wise words from Willie Ricken.
Oh my gosh. Well, if somebody's hearing this right now, you just hi Gerry one more time. They're like, I need to sit down with people that see this all the time. They have this conversation quite a bit. They know how to lead it the right way, and they're not going to judge me. What do they do?
Hey, they're going to give us a call at 314-442-6476. Or if you're more comfortable online, we totally get it. Go to rickenfinancial.com, RICKEN financial.com. There's that contact us. Just shoot us a little message. We'll reach out to you too. You can look us up on Facebook, LinkedIn. Honestly, if you Google our names, you're going to find 100 different ways to reach out to us. Short of texting, we're here for anything else. So, give us a little reach out, and we're here to help you because no one should have to do any of this alone.
You should never do it alone. Doing it alone just provides a lot of opportunity for failure. Because we want you to be educated on what else is out there. Because whether you use us or anywhere else or just do it on your own, come see us about the education and understand what's out there.
Well, we could get into the macro like we talked about last episode, that long-term planning or like a real big phase that seems very nebulous to someone, or something like what we talked about today, getting educated and then planning your everyday or every month budget by going to rickenfinancial.com, hitting them up on Facebook. And remember, the past episodes of this podcast, like I just referenced, are on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, and rickenfinancial.com, and the YouTube channel.
All 49 of them.
Woohoo!
That's it. Yeah, all 49 previous. Yeah, we just made through episode 50, y'all. And with that, we need to celebrate. We need to thank everybody for listening here to Kicking with the Rickens, Redefining Retirement. Thanks to our producer, Brandon Benefield, for helping publish all these episodes. I think he was at the L on all of those. And
he has been.
He did good. I'm glad. Yeah. And our previous host, Mark Owens, who did an amazing job, too. So, Gerry, we got to say, even on episode 50, every day
is a holiday.
And life is short, Heidi.
Laugh hard.
That's Gerry, Ricken, Heidi, Ricken-Provost. I'm your co-host, Doug Turnbull, and thank you all for listening to episode 50 of Kicking with the Rickens, and Happy New Year, too.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Ricken Financial LLC. Ricken Financial LLC is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Ricken Financial LLC are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Ricken Financial LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Ricken Financial LLC.
Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA.